All right, hello everyone, and welcome to the Professional Wrestling and Pop Culture panel, part of the virtual Pop Expo After Hours programming. My name is John. I am the host of THS Wrestling for That Hashtag Show and ThatHashtagShow.com, and I am joined by film post-production coordinator, podcaster, and another one of my co-hosts at THS Wrestling, Jim Velasco. Hello, sir.
Hey, everyone. How's it going?
And then we have our panelist. We have former NXT Cruiserweight Champion, Drew Gulak.
Hi.
We have WWE Monday Night Raw ring announcer, Mike Rome.
What's up, guys?
We have first ever NXT Triple Crown winner, Johnny Gargano.
Hi.
And interviewer and WWE personality, Noelle Foley. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hey.
What's up, guys?
Thank you for joining us. We got off a little rough start, but here we are. So my first question for the group, besides professional wrestling, what part of pop culture do you most geek out over? And we'll start with Johnny Gargano.
What part of pop culture do I most geek out over? So outside of professional wrestling, my love for Marvel is very well known. My love of Star Wars is very well known. Those are my two main ones. I mean, you can see just from my backdrop here, which I'll give you a little tour. You have my Hasbro collection there, and you have my Batman the Animated Series collection there, Spider-Man the Animated Series collection there, Star Wars collection there. So I have a very vast array of different things. But yeah, those are my main likes, I'd say.
I want to go shopping in your room.
I know that was a savage flex you just laid on us, Johnny.
Come on in, guys. Come on.
Awesome question. And for me, I geek out over horror movies and Funko Pops. I'm obsessed with Funko Pops. I have like almost 500, and I haven't told anybody this yet, but I've been doing my own customs recently. So I have like almost 2 customs that I've done, and I don't mean to brag, but they're pretty cool. So that's been keeping me occupied. So yeah, those are my 2 big things.
Awesome.
So for me, I'm a huge video game nerd. Love video games. Been playing them since I was born. Recently, I just got into Twitch, which is like an adventure for me, because like I'm talking to people and playing at the same time, which is I don't know. It's a good way to like spend time during the quarantine and stuff, but it's a nice way to connect with fans too. I didn't realize that Twitch was such like a positive, uplifting community. You know, I thought it would be a bunch of people just kind of like mouthing off in the chat room.
I've actually watched you on Twitch. It's great.
Oh, thanks. I've watched you as well. You're great too.
Yay! Thank you. I'm with Drew as well, man. I'm a big video game guy, but like most of my fandoms, like horror, Marvel, DC Comics, Power Rangers. I'm not gonna flex like Johnny, but all my stuff is back over here. It's all back in there. His flex is way better than mine is. But you can see like representing all my Batman, my Power Rangers, my arcade games and stuff. So horror, all that, holding it all down.
Awesome. So when it comes to pop culture, we know that movies is a really big thing that encompasses that. So being all involved in the professional wrestling business, do you have a favorite professional wrestling related movie? And if you do have one, which one is it and why?
Oof, that's tough. I guess, I mean, off the top of my head, I guess Ready to Rumble would be the idealistic one Jimmy the King. I saw it in theaters. It might be weird for her, but Beyond the Mat as well.
Oh yeah, 2 good ones, 2 classics.
So,
pretty much the same movie.
Yeah, pretty much. She started it, so I mean, it's kind of. I was just watching it again recently on Netflix, and I was like, I was like, there's Noelle, and I totally forgot, like, there's Dewey there too. I was like, I see Dewey all the time now. I was like, it's Dewey, and he said, this is so weird. Yeah, those are my 2, I'd say.
I had never seen that one before, and we just watched it recently because it popped up on my like recommendation. So I made Vanessa watch it, and then she texted Noelle. She's like, "Oh my god, I saw Baby
You did it.
So
yeah,
cool.
It's crazy to think about now."
She took a video of me saying my favorite word.
It was great.
And for me, I would say probably The Wrestler.
So good.
Just because like it shows like a whole different side and whole different perspective, like that being a wrestler isn't just all glitz and glamour, and there's like a really dark side to being a wrestler sometimes. So I really enjoyed that movie. I thought it was a good one. And Beyond the Mat too.
It's awesome.
That's cool. I think The Wrestler actually was maybe the most realistic portrayal of like what it's like to be in wrestling, especially for like a guy who's still trying to make it on the indies after his wrestling career is kind of, peaked. Yeah, that movie's awesome. But my personal favorite is Nacho Libre.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it does a very good job of respecting professional wrestling, while at the same time like taking you on a fun adventure. Jack Black's awesome in it. Yeah, and just the quirkiness of it too. It's got like that, that unique style. Yeah, Nacho Libre. Highly recommend that one to everyone.
I love that. That's a great one. I say I'm going to go in a whole different direction. I'm going to go No Holds Barred. It's one of my. I don't know why, but when I remember growing up watching that movie, it was one of my favorite movies ever. And I thought, like, because like when you're a kid and you're watching. I mean, obviously Noelle's experience is a little different because she kind of grew up in it. But like, if you don't grow up in it, and you're watching it from the outside, you just have like a different perspective of it. So like, it's all very like that was how I pictured wrestling when I was a kid. I was like, oh, this is amazing. The whole Dookie line was great.
I mean, gotta rip them.
I mean, outside of movies, though, the Big Show, guys. If you haven't watched it yet, Big Show,
dude, it's fantastic.
It's good. I enjoy it. It's great.
I need to
It's
see
number one for a reason.
It's really good. Like, I'm a big Fuller House guy and big Full House guy, and that's those sort of things. So, like, I love it. I thought it was great.
Add that to your queue, people.
Yeah.
Now, like me, I know all of you are a fan of Disney parks. And we all know that Ric Flair calls himself Space Mountain. But when it comes to you guys, I was just wondering, what Disney attraction or ride do you think best fits your personality?
That's tough. So if I'm going strictly from a character aspect, I'm going to say I would probably say Rise of the Resistance because it's the best ride in the world right now. It's so freaking good. So I think my professional wrestling character would say Rise of the Resistance. My self-deprecating real life self probably would not say that. But myself, oh man, yeah, I'll go Rise of the Resistance. Or my real life self would probably say Toy Story Mania, but that's totally
that's a good one.
They're both good.
That's you say. That's great.
Both of them are good.
And for me, I would probably say The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. One, I love to go on many adventures. And two, when I think about it, like I'm like all of the Pooh Bear characters combined in one. Like Pooh Bear, Piglet, Tigger, Eeyore, like all of that makes my personality. And also the Mad Tea Party, because I just feel like my brain is like scrambling, going in circles at all times. So yeah, those two rides.
I've been thinking a lot about this question, and I have to go with the Carousel of Tomorrow.
Carousel of Progress.
Carousel of Progress in Tomorrowland. Yeah, thank you very much.
That fits you. I'd say that.
Yeah, I was just trying to be honest with myself. And I think, it's been around forever. And it's just like a really cool way to kind of interpret history, I think, through the years. And like, it's still going, I feel like I'm still going.
Yeah, you are.
I think that is a solid ass pick for you.
Also, that song, right? That gets stuck in your head pretty.
I rode that ride and it broke down, so they had to redo it.
Me too.
So I was in Carousel of Progress for like an hour.
Bonus time.
Janice
I
loves
never
it.
break
She's
down
safe
on the
from
ride
other
if I
room right
want
now.
to.
Ooh. Ruin that ride for me. When you're on it for an hour straight, you're just like, oh, come on. I've seen it. I get it, man.
What you're saying is it wasn't.
That's like torture, actually. That's
never get to
most...
break down on the ride you want to.
No.
Never. It never happens that way. Except I broke down on the Millennium Falcon ride, and it like we were having an epic one. Like our score was awesome, and we were coming back like literally on that last stretch, and it just shuts down. And I was like, oh.
Hondo Adaka is upset.
Yeah, but if you ever get stuck in that ride, it's great because there's literally about 2 hours of lines that he did to cover the fact that it shut down. He goes, "Oh, it seems like this isn't working." I guess he improv'd like all this stuff, so it was entertaining nonetheless. Okay, I think I'm Haunted Mansion, and the reason why I'm saying that is because my house is filled with 999 happy haunts. They're not so happy. She's not very happy about it, but she literally gets. I scare my girlfriend like on a daily. So Haunted Mansion.
I love those scare videos.
Thank you.
Is this room
she loves some of them.
Look longer.
I feel like she falls asleep so easily, so you have so many opportunities to scare her.
I literally do not take advantage of all of them because I start to feel bad after a while. Because I swear she has car narcolepsy. Like literally, just every time she gets in a car, it's so peaceful for her. So she starts falls asleep. So she now, because I scare her so much, she'll ride back at night like this. She literally will hold her eyes open so she doesn't fall asleep because she's absolutely terrified. I'm waiting for the one day I get behind one of those trucks that's going backwards. It's like towing a truck, so I can like speed up to it and be like, "Vanessa!"
Oh, that'd be funny.
It's terrible and awesome at the same time. This is to Johnny. So we know that a lot of your takeover outfits are inspired by Marvel characters. Being someone who works at Marvel Studios, obviously appreciates that so much. But can you tell us a little bit about how, each, maybe not all of them, but like how some of those characters reflect to your character during the times you wore those outfits?
Yeah, so when I started that out, I kind of just, I did it more as like, oh, I'm a big fan of Star-Lord, so I'm going to wear kind of Star-Lord inspired gear. But then it kind of took on a life of its own, and every single takeover, I put so much thought, me and Adam Riches and the main event gear guys, we put so much thought into like where my character was, why I'd be wearing this sort of gear, why I'd be inspired by Wolverine, why I would be inspired by Iron Man, why I would be inspired by this certain character, Captain Marvel, the list goes on, Dark Phoenix, the list goes on and on. So that became more complicated than anything, is I didn't want to just wear gear just to wear it. I wanted to wear it for a meaning. And like me, I'm a nerd, I'm a geek. So I look at like different things and I'm like, oh man, like I really like the deep dive stuff that people will kind of look at him like, oh, he was Dark Phoenix for this reason, or he wore Iron Man for this reason. There's little Easter eggs. I'm a big Easter egg guy. So yeah, I mean, as it went on, every single takeover was inspired by a different walk of life. Like when we did the kind of Spider-Man meshed with Venom attire when I was going up against Tommaso and I was kind of embracing a darker side. It was like when Spider-Man was putting on the black suit for the first time. Like there's all these different Easter eggs that I try to put in my stuff just so, because I appreciate it and I have fun with it. And I think it is fun. So I think the Spider-Man and Venom one is one of my favorites. Luckily enough, they made it into an action figure, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so I put a lot of thought into them. So I'm just glad people appreciate it because I put so much thought in these things. So it's cool.
I've enjoyed them.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Uh-oh. He's
oh
gone.
no!
He did.
He hated
I got it. I'm out. Okay, cool.
Well, I'm sure John will come back in a second. So, Mike, you were just talking about, your love of horror and obviously scaring Vanessa. So, Universal Studios Horror Night, Hollywood Horror Nights, Not Scary Farm, your It tattoo. That is very obvious when you're not wearing long sleeves. And obviously jump scaring Vanessa. What is it that draws you to the horror genre?
I think it's I want to say it's the same kind of thing that draws me to comic conventions too. Is like when I was a kid, like when I was growing up, like loving Batman or like any of the comic stuff or any of the horror stuff. Like it was so like you were weird if you liked horror, or you were weird if you liked Star Wars, or if you liked comics. Like you were just.
Audio's not working.
Oh yeah. His audio's not working. He can't hear what I'm saying, but I'm going to keep saying it anyway. Like it's one of those things you grew up, like nobody really, it wasn't a popular thing. Like obviously now it's very mainstream and everybody loves those things, but being in an event like Horror Nights where you're just surrounded by people that love something so much that even though they get terrified by seeing those things, they get scared out of their mind, they are going there and they are going to these things because they love the thrill of it and they love walking through something they grew up with, whether it be Halloween or, you know, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, like anything. And it's so awesome just to kind of see the detail that's put in there and see the passion behind it and see just people going out and having a good time. And that's why I love comic conventions too. It's just seeing people be themselves in the most purest form is great to me. And just, you know, I love scares. So there's that.
Yeah. And especially with the conventions, I feel like, you know, we're all looking forward to when we can attend Comic-Con again.
Absolutely. I'm in. Let's do it again.
Soon.
Please.
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 All right, I'm back apparently. That's good. So this is for Drew Gulak.
Okay.
A colony of ants, a swamp monster, friends in similar tights, and a time-traveling leader of the band. If you could just talk to us about the wonder and mystery that is Chikara and how they intertwine stuff from pop culture so well into their storytelling.
You know, you got 2 Chikara alumni in here, right?
I know. That's what friends in similar tights. I knew what I was doing.
Big John Boy was in Fist.
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know. I like with Chikara and pop culture, it just comes down to like Mike Quackenbush. I think that's fair to say. Mike is very much openly a comic book connoisseur, and that's putting it lightly. I think I don't know, he knows everything. Literally everything about comics, but you could see that influence like in Chikara right down to the format that they run. So they'll do things in seasons where it'll start in January, it'll end in December, and then they'll start again the next season. So if you go on their website and look, you can see, I think there's like 21 seasons. And that's kind of how everything's contained. Like there's a story that runs through the season and then it evolves into the next year. So I think that makes it different right off the bat. And then when you see it, there's just like these crazy masks that are inspired by like Lucha Libre and these wacky characters like Ultramantis Black and Lance Steele, who's a knight from the future. Yeah, there's just it's like a smorgasbord of everything you'd want if you're a geek and you like pro wrestling, I think. And then to get like real nitpicky into it, like the Mexican style of wrestling and then like the Japanese style of wrestling and the European style of wrestling, they took all those international influences and purposely taught them to people like myself and like people who would come through the company to kind of make their action in the ring feel a lot different than what you're used to seeing on maybe like WWE. So yeah, that's Chikara in a nutshell, man.
Awesome. Love it. Huge Chikara fan. And I mean, I don't want to get on a soapbox, but I think everybody should at least give it a try.
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
Super fun. And there's a lot of rich storytelling going on there. Noelle, this is from Neeson. I will just say the question for him. With you being a social media influencer and not only being a wrestling fan, but also being born into the business, do you feel that wrestling companies are using social media and influencers properly to their fulfillest of their capabilities? And also, do you feel wrestlers are maximizing their social media reach?
Yeah, I definitely think WWE is doing an amazing job using their social media, whether it's like Instagram, Twitter, Instagram Live, and don't they have the highest number of followers compared to like NFL and any other sport? So I think they're doing a really great job with that. And it's really good to like build storylines, especially now that we're like all stuck at home. It's really good to do it that way. And also independent wrestlers are really using social media to really expand their characters and who they are. And without social media, I don't think anyone would even know who I was besides the little girl that was crying saying nipples when she was 5. So I really think social media is awesome for wrestling. And it's crazy to think that back in the 90s and the early 2000s that there was no such thing as social media. So it's awesome that wrestlers and different companies are able to use this huge platform to further extend their characters and their businesses.
Awesome. So we're going to do a quick lightning round of this or that pop culture I don't think we've prompted any of you with these.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. Here we
I
go.
believe we're gonna do. I think we're gonna do this. Each person gets an individual thing. So
I think we were, but I think
We can't all yell an answer out at the same time.
I think if we want to go down the line, I think we have enough time if everyone's okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. So the first one is, and we'll start with Johnny. VR
I'm gonna lead
Troopers,
off all the time. Oh man.
VR Troopers or Beetleborgs?
Oh no. Oh god. Oh. I'm gonna go Beetleborgs. I'm going Beetleborgs. Screw it.
That was an easy one.
Beetleborgs. Yeah.
What?
Big bad Beetleborgs. Let's go.
Noelle?
So same question.
Yeah, we're gonna go down the line here. If not, you can pass. It's fine.
Okay, pass.
Okay, Drew.
Beetleborgs. That guy looked like Jay Leno in that show. It's great. He was a ghost.
Mike.
We are VR, baby.
They
All
were
the way.
but
I'm disappointed in the two of you.
Why? They were like,
We're disappointed in you.
Listen,
you know what VR Troopers was supposed to be, but it didn't become that.
Yes.
Yeah.
but it was great for what it was.
Cast, but he wasn't cast, so it doesn't matter.
That's like saying, what was that? Samurai, super
Pizza
samurai.
Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad.
That's like saying that's a better show.
We're just going off theme song alone. Beetleborg wins.
I will give the theme song props.
Okay.
I will give the
All
theme
right.
song props.
Next up, arcade gaming or console gaming?
Arcade.
Arcade gaming.
Oh,
John.
sorry, was I not supposed to?
Oh, you can go.
She's
You
so-
passed in the
She's
first
super
one.
passionate about it.
Should
Let it
Somebody
go.
should go there. It starts with a different person each time. So
Yeah, let's do that.
every
So
John,
Noelle says
Who would be
okay.
next?
Oh, I'm next. Console
Yeah.
gaming.
console gaming. Okay. Mike? Arcade?
I'll go console gaming.
Console gaming?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll see who I'm a fan of after this answer.
Oh, this is
We're gonna start off with Drew. Gravity Falls or Adventure Time?
Adventure Time.
Mike?
Adventure Time.
Adventure Time.
Adventure Time.
Oh,
You should all really watch Gravity Falls.
I would have taken Rick and Morty over all of them, but
All right, fair enough.
Ditto.
We'll start off with Mike because I know he's been streaming one of these games. Warfare or Fortnite?
Warfare all day. And here's why: because I suck at building.
Me too. Yeah, it's what a terrible part of the
I feel like Warfare has become the old man game because we're like, I can't build on here, so I'm just gonna shoot you.
basically. Johnny?
I'll go Warfare.
Noelle?
Warfare.
I don't play either, so I'll say StarCraft.
That's fine.
Wow, this curveball.
What race do you play as in StarCraft?
Oh, Zerg all day.
Okay, Zerg Rush. Like it. All right. We'll start with Noelle. Michael Keaton or Christian Bale Batman?
Oh, come on.
Christian Bale.
Christian
I'm
Bale.
not going to agree. I love Christian Bale, though. I love him.
Drew?
Michael Keaton.
Mike?
Michael Keaton.
Johnny?
Michael Keaton. I think we're all showing our age, though. So.
Yeah, and also it just can't do the. I gotta do the thing.
Yeah, that seemed to really like take over the movies after the first one. Okay, Mike. I'm sorry to have to do this to you. Green Ranger or White Ranger?
Ooh.
Green Ranger. Green Ranger all day. You know why? Because he was the truest of all of them. Because like he was a good guy who turned bad. He kicked everybody's ass. It was the first time you saw the Power Rangers get laid on their ass. Everybody was like, "Oh my god!" And even though he was a bad guy, you were rooting for him to win. You wanted him to win. You felt kind of bad, but you wanted to win. And then when he turned, like when he came back around, you're like, "Dude, Power Rangers are unstoppable now. Nothing's gonna stop them." And when the White Ranger came, it was like, "Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, he's back. I'm happy he's back." But this, I don't know. I don't know. Green Ranger.
Johnny?
So I will say when Tommy became the White Ranger was probably the happiest moment of my childhood. But I think the Dragon Dagger is better than Sabah, so I will go with the Green Ranger as the dominant.
Drew?
Green Ranger.
Green Ranger. It's across the board. Drew?
Ba, 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 ba.
There we go.
My man.
All right. Let's get over into some wrestling video games here. WWF No Mercy or WCW versus NWO Revenge. Let's start with Johnny.
I'm going No Mercy. That's my tippy top. So No Mercy for me.
Yeah, probably No Mercy.
So I played No Mercy the most, but I will say that Revenge is the better game.
Mike?
Wow. I liked Revenge as well, but I feel like I have more memories from No Mercy, so I'm going to go No Mercy.
All right. And as another Disney related question here, Disneyland or Disney World?
Uh-oh.
Oh,
We get in trouble for
Easy.
who's
Well,
going?
what are you saying? If
Disneyland all day.
Why though?
Okay, so I grew up in San Diego, California. So when I was a kid, we would go to Disneyland. So Disneyland just has all my childhood memories. And so when I go back there, like it's more home to me. Like it's the original. Like it's the one that started it all. So it just feels like you're where Walt was. Like, I don't know.
Okay,
That's what I always feel.
Johnny.
Okay, so I love Disney World, obviously, but I think I would get in trouble if I didn't say Disneyland. I got married in Disneyland.
Yeah.
I got married in Disneyland. Candace, that's her hometown as well. So I think she's right there. I'm looking at her off screen, by the way.
Smart man.
If I don't pick Disneyland. Yeah, so I will go Disneyland. I would just say too, like Disneyland is more compact. You can kind of just hit both like really easily. Disney World, you need trams, you need a different transportation. It's a whole day thing. Disneyland
Really
is really easy. So yeah, I'll just go Disneyland.
I would go Disney World because like Disneyland is good if you want to hit 2 parks in one day, but if you're going for a few days, you want to get all Disney that you can get. So you have a bunch of different parks, and when you walk into Magic Kingdom, you see this awesome big castle that is much bigger than the one at Disneyland. When you go to Disney World for a while, you get used to the huge castle, and then when you go to Disneyland, you're like, what is this? So I prefer Disney World.
Drew?
I think Disneyland has a lot more soul to it. Just the way that the park is constructed, I think is way more thought was put into like how everything's kind of situated, how you can see it. It's right in the heart of Anaheim, so it's surrounded by like stuff, and you would have no idea walking into Disneyland. California Adventure is a different story, but like, and plus that, oh my god, it's old. You know, that's an old park now at this time. So like for them to do that then, and then time that the country was going through, it's just nuts. Like it's really nuts. I mean, if you go there too, you get the layout, so you know what Magic Kingdom's like for the most part. But then it's got everything else packed in there. Man, one of my favorite memories of Disneyland, I got to go when I was like 8, and the Indiana Jones ride was being built. And yeah, so I just dated people. Anyway, yeah, but I never got to go on it. And so like I remember like I was there for like a day, and then I went home, and then I read about it in like magazines and stuff. And every time I'd see it, I'd try to get like a sneak peek. This before like the internet was really doing stuff. So like finally getting to go back to Disneyland when I was booked for like an independent wrestling show maybe 5 or 6 years ago, and get on that ride was like it was like a childhood accomplishment coming true for me. It was cool. I still remembered how like that park was laid out, you know, just from going there the one time. Yeah, Disneyland it's where it's at.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, I will say something about what Noelle said. There is something about walking into Magic Kingdom and seeing the castle. When Drew and I we were in Shanghai, we went to Shanghai Disneyland, and you walk in and they have Storybook Castle there, and that thing is literally all the castles combined into one.
A real castle.
It is literally the biggest castle at Disney. It's an actual castle, and when you walk in there, it's kind of like it takes your breath away because you go, oh my god, this thing's massive. We were walking around it and you couldn't see around the other side. Like it was just insane to see that. So I will have to agree with the castle stuff. That is something that when you walk in, you're just like, oh my god, this is insane.
Wow.
Yeah, Noelle, you also have to go there. I've been to every one of them except for Hong Kong. So
Oh,
Let's go together. Let's
do it.
Others. Let's go.
I'm down. Let's go.
On top of that, I will say that with WrestleMania being in LA next year, that if everything can go back to some sort of normalcy, we're all going to Disneyland, right?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
All right.
100%.
Yeah, I'm in.
100%.
Oh yeah.
all right, Jimmy. You got one final group question.
Yeah. So to close out the show, I want to know for each of you, and we'll start off with Johnny. What do you think is your most prized piece of geek memorabilia that you own?
Oh, man, that's tough. Most prized piece of geek memorabilia. Man, I'm trying to think. What is it? What would it be? I got so much stuff. What is the? I'm asking Candace off screen right now. What would it be? Not the direct. I mean, I have the. I got a turtle. Yeah, so I got a turtle. Like so, sentimental value wise, I'm just gonna grab it.
Yeah.
So I got a turtle com here, and it's an OG turtle com in the box. So when I was little, I really wanted one of these for Christmas, and and there's also got the original Toys R Us tag on it, $5.99 by the way.
Oh,
Nice.
wow.
What a steal.
What a
So when I was little and it was Christmas, I would not get out of bed unless my parents guaranteed me. And I figured out how things work. I was like, I'm not getting out of bed unless you guarantee me there's a turtle cover. And my parents didn't want it. They're like, well, maybe Santa brought you. I'm like, no, I'm not getting out. And so they did, and I got one. But like, obviously, I'm a very small little child, so I obviously want to recreate that. So Candace got me this for Christmas. So that is one of them. This is probably one of my. Off the top of my head, this is probably it for me.
That's awesome.
For me, I would say it was one of the first pops I ever got, which was the Jason Voorhees Unmasked San Diego Comic-Con 2015 exclusive. And only 1,008 of them were made, which is interesting because on the stickers, like there's like 400, 450, 1,000, 2,000, but 1,008 is such a interesting number. So that's pretty cool. And it's just awesome. Like when I look at it, I just smile. And also I have a Mick Foley prototype.
What?
So that's really cool. So it's like an outline of him, but like no colors or anything. So
And that's as himself. That's not like in character. That's Mick Foley. Okay.
yeah. And they only have one Mick Foley pop. There needs to be more. Maybe I'll make a custom Mankind or Cactus Jack.
Do it.
Yeah, you should have all of those.
3-pack.
3-pack.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
So mine, I have to go see if I have it real quick. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, now we got to build up for it.
I know.
As a whole.
Maybe we'll jump to you, Mike. I know you were perusing your collection.
Dude, this is such a hard one for me because my collection is based in so many different things that, you know, most of our collections are all stemmed from things that we wanted as kids, or things that we grew up with. So like, I would say like my arcade machine that has all my favorite kids arcade games, like that's a great one, but that's not. Hold on, I want to see what he's going to say.
All right, hold on. Yeah. So Mike, you're going to really dig this. So,
all right.
When I was little, I was a big Nickelodeon fan. Mike knows this well. And Nickelodeon had this really cool tour where they would do like stadium shows.
Which one?
There was a couple of them, right?
Yeah, I know
one was Double Dare and Nick Arcade.
Yeah.
The other one was
Mega Mesomania?
No. This one was Mark Wiener's Wienerville Live. And I have a shirt from there. And it is autographed. Love, Mark Wiener.
Wow.
Look at that.
Literally just talking to someone about this the other day.
On the back, it's got Bonnie on there.
Wow.
That is impressive. Shirt. Oh,
yeah.
Really?
So my mom insisted I keep this, and like I'm glad she did because it's really freaking cool. And
it's funny. Normally I have my Nickelodeon director's chair back here, but I just put it away. I have an old director's chair from those tours. That's funny.
Man, I love that show too.
Yeah. Crazy show. Yep, that's it.
I love it. I love that.
Thanks.
Yeah, I don't know. So like I was gonna go with arcade, but that's not really what it is. I was gonna go with my first Batman statue, but that's probably not. I'm gonna have to say, I think I'm gonna go with this because this is something that I've always wanted. Let me unplug this so you can see it. It is my bat signal.
Oh yeah.
Your Instagram story.
Yeah, I've always wanted one of these, like when I was a kid. And I remember going to the WB studios, like when I think we went on an NXT tour to California. One of my friends worked over. They gave me a tour and they let me turn it on and off. And I think I did it like 1,000 times. And I was like, I've always wanted one of these. And one of my friends was like, hey, DC Direct sells one. I think it's through Sideshow, or I don't remember where it came through. And I was like, all right, done, sold. And it was sold out for like the longest time. And then somebody reached out to me and was like, hey, it's back up. And I picked it up. And I literally turned it on every single day in my office. So this is probably awesome.
Do you remember like the flashlights that had the logo?
I do.
The
I
yellow?
do remember the flashlights. I had one of those.
Very
I love
cool.
the bat signal.
Iconic.
It is. It is. And to go with your question earlier, I got this little Michael Keaton action to go.
Yeah. Look at that cape.
That's awesome.
Dude.
Blow it in the wind.
Little Funko action there. You got to get the big pops. They're amazing.
That one is huge.
It's freaking huge. The only other one that I have that's this big is a Megazord
Oh wow.
from Power Rangers.
Well, I think that about wraps it up for us and this panel. Guys, thank you so much. This was such a fun time. Before we get out of here, if there's anything anyone wants to plug, we'll start with Johnny and then we'll just go down the line.
I guess I should probably plug NXT on the USA Network, 8 p.m. every Wednesday night. Make sure to watch. That's my plug.
Awesome.
And I don't really have anything to plug except just continue to be nice to each other and help out where you can.
I'm on Smackdown Fridays on Fox at 8 o'clock. Other than that, you can catch me on Twitch now at Drew Gulak. Yeah. And also be nice to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I third the be nice to each other sentiment. And you can catch me on Monday Night Raw on the USA Network at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And make sure you check me out on Twitch, Mike Rome, WWE, all my social media. Same.
Johnny, thank you so much. We needed pup content on this.
There you go.
Best part of the interview right there.
Get Carter May on it. She doesn't have an Instagram because she's too young.
Aww.
That's a good decision.
Responsible parenting. There you go.
All right. Well, everyone, thank you so much, and thanks for watching, and have a good weekend.
All right. Thanks for having
Thank
us.
you.
Well, thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.